Hey, we want to welcome y'all to the Degen Sports Network. We're going to go over weekly betting picks and our non-professional ideas of what you should do if you are choosing to gamble. To give you guys a little bit of background, we are definitely not professionals. We like to have a little action on each game if we can, or some games. Don't go and bet your mortgage on our picks. Just use this for entertainment and informational purposes. Today we're going to go through who we think for futures bets on the divisional champions for each division of the NFL. Obviously, people are going to have different strategies going into these kind of things, and if you don't agree with us, that's fantastic. If you do, that's also fantastic. We're getting our lines and the numbers from mybookie.ag. I feel like it's a pretty solid platform. You guys should check it out. We're not sponsored yet. In the case we do get sponsored, I hope that Diet Mountain Dew picks me up because that's the only way that I function on a daily basis. So let's jump right in. My name's Wes. We have Bo and Ben. Ben is the other bearded gentleman. Bo is the guy that may have a beard this time next year. We'll see. So we're going to start with the AFC South, and to give you an idea, the numbers are the Colts plus 120, the Titans plus 175, the Texans plus 325, and the Jags plus 1,800. Take off, guys. What do you think on that?
Colts.
Colts.
Yeah, I mean, they built that offensive line to protect Andrew Luck, and then he retired. Old man Rivers, he's going to roll in. I think he's a great fit. If I had to put my money on it, I'd take that plus 120 with the Colts for sure.
I like the Colts to win there too. I'm not going to bet it. I don't want to tie my money up for that long at those odds. If I was going to bet one, I'd take the Texans at that +3, whatever it was. But I like the Colts to come out of that one. I like the line. Good setup around Rivers. If he can just hang in there another year, this might be his year.
Yep. Well, one of my betting maxims is to never take any bet against Phillip Rivers where he is the favorite, and to never take any bet against him when he is a dog. He is the world's greatest dog and the world's worst favorite, but he will be throwing the ball, throw for 500 yards, down 25 points, whatever it is. He is a live dog at all times. If I had to choose just based on value, I would take the Texans there because I think that they're set up pretty well even though they lost Nuke Hopkins. Deshaun Watson is the best quarterback in this division, and this is a quarterback-driven league. I like getting, 3-1 on my money if I have to make a pick there. I really think the Colts will probably win it, but so does everybody else, including Vegas. So, do you want to get a 20% on your money or 300%? There's your question. I personally don't think I'd tie money up to take the Colts, but I want value if I'm going to take a bet. We'll move on to the AFC West. I'll go through these lines a little bit slower this time. The Chiefs are minus 350. The Broncos are plus 750. The Chargers are plus 800. And the Raiders are plus 950. I'm ready to fire on this, so I'll go ahead. I think the only question you have to think about here is, do you want Patrick Mahomes to die? Because if you want him to die, that's the only way that you can take any of these other three teams. I mean, if he does not die, doesn't get injured, there's just virtually no way three teams that are collectively couldn't play a game with them are going to win that division. But the value on that number is so terrible that even though I'm very confident the Chiefs will win, I'm not taking them.
Yeah, same here. Chiefs win. I'm not betting that.
No, I want to stay away. I mean, if you got, just some piss away money, maybe take it on one of those teams that might have a new look this year or something. But I highly doubt any of them come out on top.
I mean,
yeah.
And you get to the point on the Broncos, is Drew Lock going to make some second-year jump? Is the rookie Justin Herbert going to do anything with the Chargers? And
Right.
the Raiders are the Raiders. I mean, they did sign Marcus Mariota, but is he worth 9-1? Is he that big of a difference maker there with that dysfunctional franchise? I mean, I don't see it. Maybe he is, but we can all look like idiots in the end of the year, or we can look brilliant. Everybody has an opinion at the end looking back, so we're going to have an opinion at the front end, and you can all tell us we're morons later. Okay, let's do the AFC East. We have the Pats at -150, the Bills at +100 or even money, the Jets at +750, and the Dolphins at +850.
I like the Bills with that even money.
Tell me why.
Well, I feel like, all right, so this has been kind of a weird offseason. COVID-19 wreaking havoc. I'm going to be looking for teams who everything has kind of stayed the same, same coaches, a lot of same personnel, no quarterback switches, things like that. Out of the AFC East, we had Bills and Pats both made it to the playoffs last year. I just don't see a whole lot of change on the Bills. I think Cam Newton with the Pats is a pretty scary unknown. He doesn't like to lose. He's with Bill Belichick now. Belichick's been praising him in the practice camps and stuff. So it makes sense that the Patriots are the favorite to win the division. But, I mean, like I said, I just kind of like that even money with the Bills. I think they kind of stayed the same over the offseason a little bit. So.
Added Stephon Diggs, so
right.
Got an elite receiver there. I think we're late to the party. I mean,
they were
if we
just
had
such
done
a
this,
scrappy team too last year.
Yeah. If we had done this 3 months ago, we would have got a lot of value on that Pats pick. But
Right.
they signed Cam, their odds changed, and I've always thought that Belichick's kryptonite was having to defend a quarterback that can run. And so then instead of playing defense virtually 11 on 10, that 11 on 11 guy that can actually break out and, pick up a first down at any given time, even if it's on a designed pass play.
Right.
That's always been really hard for him and his disciples, namely Nick Saban, to defend. Realize that's a college reference, but I mean, that's hard for anybody to defend.
Yeah.
If you told me to take a flyer on either of the other two dogs, I kind of like them both. Sam Darnold showed flashes last year. He had some potential that I feel like if he continues to develop and the Jets don't do what the Jets do, they could sneak in the back door. And the Dolphins are probably going to end up starting Tua, and Tua was fantastic throughout college, always very poised, made really accurate throws. I think his game is going to translate well to the NFL as long as he's healthy. Then again, you kind of go into that knowing if you're plus 850 that it's a long shot. So it's kind of like, how much money do you want to have, or are you trying to win 10% above what you have invested?
I think you want to throw a little bit on the Dolphins or the Jets maybe, but they're the Dolphins and the Jets for a reason. Those teams are garbage. I think Fitzmagic is going to be the starter, though, in Miami, the last I heard. So that's interesting. He's a fun guy to watch. But
yeah, I do too.
I got to go with the Patriots to come out of this division again, though. I mean, Cam, when healthy, he's a top 5 quarterback, top 10 at the world. He's got something to prove. Belichick, it's hard to go against that for me. So that's what I'm thinking.
Another one of my betting maxims is that you never bet against Bill Belichick. I mean, unless he's laying 50 points, I pretty much either won't touch the game or I won't Bill's side of it. He proves every year he's so far ahead of everybody else as far as the scheme and the strategy. Okay, AFC North, this division's probably the most interesting in the NFL this year. We have the Ravens at -220, the Steelers at +350, the Browns at plus 450, and the Bengals at plus 1,600. Well, the obvious answer is the Ravens, as they are the overwhelming favorite. But I think there's a lot of value in the Steelers at this number.
Yeah.
You know, they're long-term rivals. Every year they play, I mean, those games are just absolute bloodbaths. And the Steelers have a very experienced quarterback, a pretty good receiving core, and they're always at least decent on defense. If I'm betting for value, that's the team I like the most out of this division. If I'm betting for who I think is going to win, well, I think it's probably going to be the Ravens. But is this year the year that the NFL is going to figure out Lamar Jackson, or is this year the year he's going to be Mike Vick and Madden and just tear the league apart again? Or is he going to take off on one of these 50-yard runs weaving through the defense and get depleted, and he's out for 6 weeks, and it throws the division up? Hard to tell.
NFL stands for not for long. I mean, you all remember the Rams a couple years ago? Everyone was talking about that offense. How do we ever stop that? Well, it got stopped. I mean, that's kind of that people, they catch on quick. The Steelers were, I mean, I think they had like 2 or 3 starting quarterbacks last year, and if you include Roethlisberger, and they
Mason
just
Rudolph getting his head knocked off.
Yeah, and they just hung around in games too. They're extremely scrappy too. But with the plus 350, that is good value though. I don't know, and you know, the Browns have. I know that they were the off-season sweetheart last year. I even kind of got suckered into that a little bit too. I put a preseason bet in on the Browns and felt like a total idiot. I think Tampa Bay's that team this year, but you know, they're really starting to add up some talent now, and if they can ever just figure out how to get it all working at once, they could be pretty dangerous too. So
I can't see them being anything other than an improvement when they get rid of Freddie Kitchens. I mean, who thought that was a good idea?
I think they need to get rid of their whole front office.
That's a good one.
Yeah.
I'm starting to think we may be wrong. I was on the Steelers too. We got Big Ben back, and I like James Conner, but we're all on him, so that makes me think we're wrong. It might be the Browns coming out of nowhere this year.
Yeah.
I mean, if you really hate money or like long shots, and you assume this division's going to be pretty tight, because in the past it has been, the Bengals are kind of fun at plus 1,600. Yeah. 16 to 1 on your money with the guy that was a star in college as your quarterback. I mean, they clearly have holes. There clearly are questions to be answered, but it's kind of a fun bet.
Yeah, that could be, you know, just throw a little bit at it. You know, Joe Burrow, he might be a rock star.
I mean, and assume that he is a rock star, and by a miracle of God, they go 9-7, and 9-7's enough. I mean, that's not going to win the Super Bowl, but they've only got to beat 3 other teams, and at least 2 of those 3 teams are probably 1 injury away from being very marginal and picking in the top of the draft. So, I mean, I don't think it's a smart bet, but I think it's a fun bet.
Yeah, it could be a fun one. You got a rookie quarterbacks in the NFL. It's going to be a rough year for him.
It's a very fun league to watch for that reason. Okay, the NFC East. I don't really understand the line on this one, and maybe it's just because I'm admittedly a little partial. The Cowboys are minus 110. The Eagles are plus 140. The Giants are plus 800, and the Washington R-words are plus 1,600, or whatever they're calling themselves this week. I don't really guess that is here nor there. It doesn't really matter, but I cannot understand the hype around the Cowboys. I mean, they replace a pretty average coach with a guy who I feel like squandered most of Aaron Rodgers' time with Mike McCarthy. I mean, if he couldn't win with Aaron Rodgers, how is he going to win with Dak Prescott?
It's the America's team. It's the popular. Everybody loves them. Vegas not going to put a big plus number on there when they know that's where all their bets are coming from.
There's your answer. So they're depending on the public to knock that down, even though they probably think of them similarly to how we think of them, as in not very highly.
Who's gonna stop them though? Giants, Eagles, or the Washington Redskins? R words football team.
To me, it's the Giants. I think the Giants.
I mean, they're gonna shoe in again. It's like who doesn't want this division? The Eagles are completely broken. They're going through all kinds of injuries. Dwayne Haskins is the quarterback of the football team. And then the Giants, I don't know, guys. I mean,
it's the Giants. They got a solid running back. They got a solid quarterback. They just need the defense to show up just a little bit.
Got a new left
they
tackle.
Can come out.
I mean, the Giants improved in the draft for sure. I don't see them being the team that's going to win. But I mean, if you told me right now that we have to bet the house on one of these four teams, I don't like any of them. I mean, I'm very admittedly mum on the Cowboys. The Eagles were fantastic 2 or 3 years ago, but can they keep Carson Wentz healthy? And the other two teams are plus 800 and plus 1,600 with as many issues that we could talk about for the next 12 hours and not even scratch the surface. You know, unlike the Bengals, I don't really see this as a time where that you throw down a bet on the really long shot unless that you believe that the NFL is a rigged, media-conscious organization and that they're trying to praise the Redskins for finally taking their offensive name out. Hey, you know, that might be a good way to reward them. So if you hook up holding calls and Dwayne Haskins actually improves a lot in his second year, it could happen. But I don't know. I mean, that's the reason this is gambling and not working.
Who are you taking, Wes? Anybody?
Christ, I don't know. I mean, if you force me to pick, I'm trying to read through what I'd written about this. I'm not just sitting over here staring to the left.
Okay. Well, I'm taking the Giants. I'm taking it and I'm betting it. They're winning this one.
I like it. I like your confidence there. I think it's Cowboys and Eagles again on towards the end of the year. Once the Eagles get over their injuries, they'll start kind of creeping back in and kind of give by then it might even be the Giants a run for their money. I think the Eagles will probably figure out how to get second place. I don't know. But
those two teams at the top, they choke. They can't wrap it up. Giants sneak in and get it.
I mean, yeah, but, you know.
You twist my arm and force me to make a pick. I'm taking the Giants, I guess. Actually, I misspoke. I'm taking the Eagles if you force me. But I agree with what Bo says. They both choke. They are, in my opinion, overrated. I wouldn't touch this one at all. Wouldn't bet anything in this division. But if you force me to take a bet, I'm going to take one of the dogs at the bottom at getting good odds. And, I mean, we made a really good case for the Giants, even though there's questions to be answered. But if there weren't questions, we would just be reading the paper tomorrow seeing, oh, well, this is what happened in the game. And that's not the way this works. Okay, to the NFC North, another pretty competitive division. We have the Packers at plus 180, the Vikings at plus 175, the Bears at plus 375, and the Lions at plus 450. I think this is a gross division. I wouldn't bet it, wouldn't touch it. There's nothing in this entire division that gives me confidence for any team, and I don't feel like I'm getting value anywhere. The Lions at plus 450, fantastic, but you really want to bet on Matt Patricia and Matt Stafford. I mean, not if you double those numbers, I might think about it, but not at plus 450. No, so I'll take the best quarterback.
Yeah. I'm throwing the Bears out, throwing the Lions out. I think both of them improved, but nowhere near enough. Maybe a couple games Packers got extremely lucky. I know there's the old saying, you know, you got to come through Green Bay to get to the NFC North Championship. I think it's the Vikings again. Once again, back to the COVID stuff. He's got his quarterback, kept his the coaching staff kind of stayed the same. Same head coach. I think it's not terrible value, plus 175, and I think that they're definitely the kind of the leader there.
It makes an interesting week one matchup because they play each other, and Vegas obviously feels that they are pretty evenly matched at either plus 180 or plus 175. So I see some possible value in that week one line, but we'll get to that in our next video. Okay, let's move on to the NFC South. We have the Saints at minus 105. Everybody's sweetheart team this year, the Bucks, at plus 145. The Falcons at plus 650, and the Panthers at plus 2,000. And I've got a lot of thoughts on this one, but I will let you guys.
This is an awesome division. I think this is going to be an awesome division to watch all year. I'm going to be fading the Bucks like crazy. I think they're the Browns of last year. I don't really have – I mean, I just don't know if Tom Brady can air it out, you know, downfield like Jameis Winston was last year. Kind of kept all these – you know, they had such great fantasy numbers and all that. But Mike Evans, Chris Godwin –
he also threw 30 picks.
But I don't know. I mean – what was the Saints again? What was this?
The Saints are minus 105, so right at even money.
Yeah.
I think we missed if you want to bet the Bucks. I mean, you could have got them at a huge number right before Brady signed or right when he signed. They're going to be a lot better. I don't know if they win the division or not, but we really missed out if you wanted to bet it.
Yeah. I don't want to take the Saints anymore. Like, that's just not enough. I mean, there's no way at minus 105. I'm probably going to take I might do just a little bit on Atlanta and just a little bit on the Panthers. Because Teddy Bridgewater, you know, he had he came in, he won a lot of games in New Orleans. He knows the division already. Plus 2,000. I mean, just take a shot in the dark. That's probably what I would do. And
I feel like you're reading my script over here.
Oh, yeah? All right.
Yeah. So a couple of thoughts. But the aging process is kind of nobody. And Tom Brady has seemed like the ageless wonder. But I fear that it's going to be just like it is with anybody else that's an aging athlete. Nobody remembers Willie Mays playing for the Mets. Because aging at the end of their career is not a smooth transition, you know, easy run downhill. It's dropping off of a cliff. Perhaps Brady's fantastic this year, but I feel like that once the age catches him, it's not going to be kind. It's going to be harsh, and nobody's going to really look back on him playing with the Bucks fondly.
And just another point on that. You got the Saints with another old quarterback, but their offensive line is way better than the Bucks. Brady's never
he can't run for his life.
What he's about to get. I don't know how he's going to handle getting hit too many times.
The thing that I think is advantageous for the Bucks, you know, they obviously have Mike Evans, and they added Gronk. They're going to have weapons to get the ball to people. He's going to have to get the ball out quickly, which is great for him because his arm strength is diminishing year after year. So he's not going to want double moves and things like that where he's got to throw the ball 50 yards in the air. That's not in his advantage.
Yeah.
I feel a lot like Ben does on this. I mean, the Falcons 3 years ago, were up 28-3 at halftime in the Super Bowl. Yeah, there's some changes, but they're not drastic. Matt Ryan, when he plays well, is MVP. He does not play well, he is awful. Plus 650 is not a bad number in a very competitive division. Given who I really think is the super wild card here is Teddy Bridgewater and the Panthers. when the NFL is typically really quick to adjust, but they don't innovate very often. And Matt Rule had a wonderful offense at Baylor. Then he brings in Joe Brady, whose offensive passing game tore up the entire world at LSU last year. I feel like that there could be some interesting things happen. I think there's actually value at that number. Possibly not, but we'll see. We got a 40-minute time limit, so we're going to have to pop it off a little bit.
I'm taking Atlanta. I know I'm a homer, but I'm taking Atlanta. I think I'm going to put in on that bet at 650. I think that they win the NFC South.
I think the Saints don't bet it.
We're going to pick up the pace a little bit. We're going to the NFC West, and we have the Niners at -110. This is the last division. The Seahawks at +200, the Rams at +550, and the Cardinals at +600. I will stick with the trend that I've had throughout this entire thing. I don't want the favorite, even if they go 16-0. I don't like not getting value on money.
Yeah,
all three of the non-favorited teams, as the Seahawks, the Rams, and the Cardinals, I feel like could win this division. I'm not very sold on Jimmy G as the quarterback for the Niners. I'm not sold on anything they bring to the table, except they have a fantastic tight end. And they do have a good defense. But the Rams, Super Bowl a couple of years ago, fantastic team a couple of years ago, have an innovative coach. And the Cardinals, either the NFL is going to catch up with the air raid and they're going to be awful, or the NFL is going to continue to adapt and evolve into the air raid, and the Cardinals are very set up for that, especially adding a top 5 receiver in DeAndre Hopkins or Nuke, or I may be saying the wrong name. I didn't look it up. Like the value of the bottom end there.
I think the Seahawks come out of this division this year. I don't know how much value is there as the bet on that one, but that's my pick to take it down.
Yeah, I do too. I'm not gonna bet this one, but yeah, I think the Seahawks come out on top.
And for the people watching us for the first time, because this would have to be the first time, you'd probably see a trend that I like value in a bet, and that makes me wrong more often than not, but it also helps a lot when you have a line that's week to week. If you're getting to a good number, that's probably going to influence my pick. Okay, well, we will get this posted for you guys. Please hit the like and subscribe button. And we'll be back for week 1 lines in the next few days. Please tell your friends, subscribe, etc. Hopefully you will do better than we expect ourselves to do.
Yeah,
maybe we'll make some money this year.
Yeah, if not, just fade our picks and you still make money.
Yep. Yeah. Just fade us.
You can't lose. Okay. Well, it's good to have you guys around. Thank you.